Happy Sunday to all. This is PSG. I'm back. I'm happy. Allergy still kicking my ass, but I do feel healthier. I was able to beat COVID. I had the chills for a day. Luckily, and my symptoms outside of that weren't really much. So I tested negative on Monday, and I tested negative yesterday. So yesterday I did because you have to test in order to go to the games courtside. So it was cool to find out I'm still negative and that this is allergies living down here in Texas. Cedar kicks our ass. So without further ado, let's jump into chapter 12. I'm hoping you all have been doing your reading because I don't really dress these videos up with too many flashy things because I feel as though the information is very valuable. I don't want people to get distracted on, hey, has this, he's posting this or that, versus you understand this market and become a student of the game. You really make money work for you. You really don't trip about much because you know you can attain it. So that's kind of where everybody, I feel like the disconnect is, because they want to see the money, they want to see the cars, the homes, versus if you understand and put in work with your process, you're not really losing sleep anymore about money as much because you know how to make it work for you. So moving into chapter 12, I do feel like they do a great deep dive job of explaining the importance of branding. So within branding, they're going to tap on their pros and cons, and it's really important for a company to tell us the story, bring it to life, and almost dress it up for us as an investor. This is my 9th year, and through experience, I've been able to see that companies that have good relationships with their investors and clients, those typically be the ones that they do better. People are willing to stay around longer because of the transparent relationship. And I do think, and of course, financials and doing and some other various things, but I do feel like we'd be a fool to say relationships are not important. So with having important relationships, branding is very important because with branding, you're going to be bringing a lot of things to life. So you have to paint a picture to an investor of the level of importance, and also a level of, can you sustain in a competitive market? So I feel like these are very key features that you need to be aware of and when doing your reading to understand, because you'll also tap into, I think chapter 10 we tapped on the management team. So what's going on with branding, are they going to be doing that in-house? Are they outsourcing that? I mean, there's a lot of details that really bring the idea and the value of branding to life to really help a price per share. We want to know, can this product, can it continue to improve? Do we feel like it's one of the top superior products? I'll be honest, if you're not having an attractive branding and label, you can't expect investors to feel almost attached to an extent, because what are you keeping them around for almost? So it definitely has to be unique. It has to add value, of course, as we tapped on, remain consistent. It points out that every time a customer sees or interacts with a brand, it should be obviously similar. A company's colors, logos, and even its style must remain consistent. So, you know, with branding, far as consistency, so seeing things all the time, that begins to stick in a consumer's eye. Think about when you think about some of the top logos, I guess, Apple, Microsoft, Tesla. When you see these logos, it represents a whole organization of almost consistency, durability, and balance. So these are all important aspects when going into being on the branding side, whether you're running a company or on the investor side, seeing the value of a brand, a good brand. The book also taps on the relationships, as far as feedback on products, reviews. All these things do matter and are important. Why would you want to invest in a product that doesn't have good reviews? They're telling you the product is faulty, it's having issues. How do you think as an investor you would feel about the price per share? So you really have to tie all these things into account and take them, deciding, hey, am I going to be buying this short, mid, or long term, or just buying it And hey, I'll start getting out on the way up because I am seeing the value in that competitive sector that they're going into or that they are in. And I can see with the management team that they have on their resumes of, I mean, some of these sometimes might have worked with the Sony or Microsoft. They'll tell you that they might have been the lead head of that department of helping manage, grow a portfolio. All these things are very important as track record is everything in this market. So don't take that for granted. Know about these track records with these people that's coming on board, because we've seen some with some companies track records of doing reverse splits, raising the share structures, not being transparent. And you see they kind of bounce around with different stocks, and we're humans of habit, and still in the market. By knowing that, you'll see that they'll do the same thing over and over. So, shoot, would you be putting your hard-earned money into a company with a CEO or management team or poor branding team, or a team that's not consistent, doesn't have good reviews from their customers? Like, these are all important things you really have to glue together when deciding, are you going to be putting money into this company? There's plenty of good companies out there. It's up to you to be able to find them. Let's see here. It was a good chapter. It's short. I believe it was only 15 pages, tapping in onto the barriers of a new competition. That's also a good one. Looking at the regulations. There are other competitors. There's another company even way up to be able to have things like high customer loyalty, technical requirements such as like it says roadblocks include finding specialized staff and developing highly refined products. So it's a lot that goes into these companies. Material availability. If a company needs resources, they are in high demand. Ensuring an adequate supply serves as a barrier to entry. So being able to see, hey, do they already have these materials that another company might not even have? Are they able, you know what I mean? So there's a lot of different aspects that go into just looking at the price per share per day of a company. Let's see over here. Within the marketing strategy, they tap on as well the effectiveness of its efforts. It says, is the business spending money and time on an average campaign with mediocre results? Everything costs. Ideally, the market efforts of a company will augment sales or at least improve positive brand awareness among customers. So it's important to take these things into account to be able to decide, hey, how long you want to stay around, or hey, I'll get out now and come back when they're able to provide more value, because I might not have the patience. So you have to be able to make that timeline in your head if you're going to have the patience to stay around and wait it out. They tapped on loyalty and attrition as well. The attrition rate. It's important to be able to look at those things as well as customer turnover. Customer turnover as well. So I'm hoping you're doing your reading. This does wrap up chapter 12. I can't stress it enough. Those who are students of the game just simply tend to do well. And that's not just with investing, that's with any approach to anything in life. So I'm hoping that we can get a few that are on board and taking this journey to be a student as well, because I'm a firm believer the more people read this book and apply it at different points in it, that they can also too be able to not only pay it forward, but find the next runner for us. No one's the sharpest tool in the shed. And in a market with plenty of tickers and different companies having different financials and also fluctuations of the market, we're going through COVID right now. So it's just understanding how that affects the market. And now I feel like more than ever, you have so many ways to invest. Being able to understand you don't have to be in every aspect of investing, as far as NFTs, crypto, stock, options. I mean, it's so many things, and you'll hear of people on the internet doing well, but you have to understand what works for you. And there's a million ways to make a million. So you don't have to be necessarily doing a whole bunch of things in the market, especially when you're new, because why would you try a whole bunch of different things that you're new at with your hard-earned money? So I'm just saying, just make some of this stuff make sense as best as you can, because a lot of people aren't going to be giving the game out on the internet, because shit, they just want you to buy their shares higher so they can walk away. So you've been able to understand the value, the timeline of a company, and if you have the patience to wait around, is very important. Sorry for my soapbox rant. I'm just hoping it helps a few. Chapter 13 we're going to be moving on to next week is called Technical Analysis with Penny Stocks. In this chapter, we will be focusing on trading patterns, using those to predict penny stock prices, understanding when technical analysis does not work, profiting by spotting specific trading patterns, trusting technical indicators, and knowing when a trading pattern is failing. So it's going to be a great chapter. Looking forward to it. But this wraps up this week's, and wish you all the best. PSG, I'm out.